All right, everybody. So this is Diana, your virtual host for SCIFF 2024, and I am here with Bryan Young. We are going to be discussing his feature film, The Lost Boys, for the virtual part of the show. Bryan, please introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about your film.
Yeah, my name's Bryan Young. I'm a filmmaker and storyteller. I write novels and work on films. Obviously, you just watched The Lost Boys, presumably, so you can see my interests lying there as well. And The Lost Boys was a film I really wanted to put together and was able to put together thanks to a bunch of grants from a number of different places, but mostly some mental health organizations that really liked the script and how it handled some of those mental health issues. And it was very near and dear to me and tackled some issues that were very interesting to me. But I've had a very long, varied career through films and film festivals and done a lot of weird stuff over my career in documentary and feature films and all kinds of weird stuff. So I can kind of speak to anything just about, it seems.
Awesome. Um, so it definitely the mental health aspect definitely stuck out to me. And the transition from the young boy to the adult going into like the slipping and stuff like that. And it really kind of feels like there was like some type of loss as far as like a younger brother was harmed or hurt accidentally and things like that. So, is that something that's like a true story in your life or a friend?
So the genesis of that really came from there's sort of two places that story came from in my life. For one, there was a kid in my neighborhood that affected me pretty greatly that did sort of accidentally hang himself in a garage in the neighborhood. And sort of that when I was a teenager, that had happened, and so that had haunted me a little bit through my life. But as the film sort of wraps up, and you sort of get the idea that these kids were twins, this was something that really affected me in that my dad and my uncle were identical twins, and my uncle died many years ago, and I'm older now than my uncle was when he passed away, and I haven't spoken to my father since around that same time, and so I don't know what my uncle would have looked like. I don't have any perspective of what he would have looked like. So he's sort of frozen in time in that space where he was when he died, and so I was really focused on that idea of these identical twins and sort of that torture of like if you're the twin that survives and what that would be like watching yourself grow, but still having this image of your twin being frozen in time in that way. And so it was me really combining those two sort of tragedies in my life, and me sort of tackling those in this one short.
Right, right. Well, I think it was definitely a great, I mean, it definitely came through very clear to me about the mental health aspect of it. Now, are your other films centered around mental health, or how do you vary in your different types of film work?
Um, my film work has sort of been all over the place. The short film that I did and took to a couple festivals before this was really a short film that was a romantic comedy about a film critic who fell for a girl with terrible taste in movies, right? And it was really me honoring a friend who was a film critic who sort of passed away.
Mm,
And before that, I did a lot of producing. I did some producing for some other filmmakers, and I did some documentary film work where we did some work with the Disinformation Company and sort of took those films on tour and did some other um, work, but those were like political in nature. And mental health has never been far from something that was important to me, and it comes up a lot in my work in prose. But for this, it felt like it was the right moment for me where um I was trying to think of a film that I wanted to shoot, right? I was getting very antsy to shoot a film, and I was going on a hike. And I was going up the mountain, like literally going to hike up a mountain by myself. And I was like, well, what do I have access to? What sort of things do I have around? What sort of talent do I have at my disposal? And how could I shoot something on a very low budget, at a professional level? And how could I make a story work that's meaningful and means something to me? And it happened to be right after a therapy session I'd been to. And sort of the last shot came to me about how that would work. And oftentimes I would think of a story and go, oh, that's more of a short story idea, not a short film idea. And I really wanted something that would work in film, right? Like something that was a story that could only be told, I felt like with cinematic language. And by the time I'd finished my hike about an hour later and came back down the mountain, I was just sort of bawling, ready to write the script and going like, I think this is the one. I think this is the one. And I came back down, loaded up my computer, sat down at Final Draft and wrote the first draft of the screenplay, and realized how much my therapy session had played into it. And then really, really focused on trying to find the mental health aspects of it and find the catharsis of where the character was and where that catharsis would be for me as a filmmaker. Because I think there's a lot to the idea. Kurt Vonnegut, the writer, said that we make art to sort of make our souls grow, and this
Mm.
was very much me exploring these things to sort of make that proverbial soul grow, for me to explore these things and work on my mental health as much as anything. And I think Vale, who was the actor, they played Michael, the older brother,
Mhm.
in this. I know that they were dealing with some mental health issues. Um they were definitely really struggling with some mental health before I'd given them the script. And I wasn't sure that they were going to be able to do it actually because of the mental health stuff. And they came to me and they said that they had been able to work through a lot because of the process. And that really made me feel really well. I mean, Vale's a kid I've known, um, you know, the producing and writing partner that I've had since I was in junior high is Vale's dad. So like I've known Vale since he was like since they were born. So that kid was very important in my life and has been since they were around. So being able to help them through their mental health by giving them a performance that they could do, felt
Mhm.
really good about that too. And we've done a couple of screenings and they've been able to talk about it at the screenings as well, and that's been really nice actually.
It's amazing. I mean, this is art, and art is therapeutic.
Yeah.
And the outlet that, this provides, especially for actors to be a different character and work through some of the emotions that some people don't even realize they have inside them. And I think that it's so relevant today because we are dealing with such a crisis with mental health. And I think the beauty part of it now is that it is more widely accepted than before.
Yeah.
And getting therapy is actually much more of a staple in a household now. It's like, no, like that's what is needed. Like we're human and we need to have a safe place to talk about our feelings and things that we've experienced in our life and work through them and know that it's okay to feel what we feel. And I think that it's great that you've touched on that in this film to really bring that, part to someone else that's watching it. What is something that you're working on next? Not so much don't give away the secrets, but are you working on
Yeah.
another project or any other?
Yeah, I'm putting together a feature screenplay actually, for sort of a sci-fi horror thing, a locked room sort of situation. I'd really love to get produced. And I have a novel coming out in January in the BattleTech Mech Warrior universe that I'm really excited about. The screenplay is coming along really nicely. I'm really excited. It feels to me like a mix between THX 1138 and sort of like that Ryan Reynolds movie Buried, but with
Uh-huh.
a much larger cast, if you can believe that. Um, and again, trying to get actually to some of the actually it does sort of address some of those mental health issues, but also um, some larger issues of society, but also some of the issues of um, just what we believe and why we believe and how we communicate with each other.
Right, right. And just a question on the film festivals, and I'm sure you've submitted quite a few to different ones. Why did you choose SCIFF?
It was a festival that came with a certain amount of prestige. It was definitely a festival I really wanted. This I thought this film would fit really well there, and I thought that it would speak to people in that were attending or that would be watching. Um, naturally, we make films because we want people to see them and we want the right audiences to see them. And
Hmm.
Skiff felt like it would be the right audience. And hopefully, as people have watched it, I wasn't wrong.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Are you going to be able to make the festival or?
We'll see still. We'll see.
Yeah, I know it's a little bit of a travel and
Yeah.
it's definitely, holiday season.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that'd be great. I mean, the amazing thing is, we're in our fourth year. I've been with Skiff for 3 years, and this is my second year being the virtual host and being able to see all the amazing short films. And I'm also the red carpet host, so it's really grown. And to be able to not only now we're including the film part of the aspect of the creativity side, but we have comedy, we have music, and now we're going to have like the arts as far as painting and all that stuff. So it's growing and it's so beautiful to watch. And just to see everyone come and submit their work. I hope you guys are really proud of yourselves because it's a leap of faith. It's a little bit takes courage. And to have people watch you, art is it's hard. Sometimes people judge and people don't understand, but I think that your film definitely it's very clear and it was a beautiful thing to watch and it was very touching. And like I said, it's nice to see that it brought out something about mental health, but in a easier way to swallow the concept of it. So, if the audience wants to reach out to you or find out more about you, is there social media links you can guide them to YouTube or website?
Yeah, no, if my entire social media presence, if you look up my name, Brian Young, or find Swankmotron, SWANKMOTRON, across social media or swankmotron.com, you can find any information about me that you like, books, movies I've worked on, IMDb, wherever. Um, and yeah, I'm working pretty consistently on just telling stories for the last 20 years and hope to, spend another 20 or 40 doing just that. So
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much again for taking the time to talk to me about your film, and I appreciate you doing that and also being a part of SCIFF. And I wish you much success with all of your future endeavors. And we look forward to receiving more work from you in the future.
thank you so much for having me and taking the film and talking to me.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Ryan, and I hope you have a great rest of your night.